Alright, so we've done our little photo shoot out here. It is absolutely breathtaking. I don't even know how to describe this place.
Let's go. Let's go. The chairman.
These are all my escorts. It's the chef, Junior, the tech, the CEO, the first mate, and my first mate. Della. Oh man. This place is unbelievable that it stayed intact so long. I could just stand back there by that water forever. Oh, mask.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Augustine. Ojo, Kumasi. You Kumasi. David.
Okay. Nice one.
This flag was unveiled by President Barack Obama
Okay.
and the
Great.
first
And
Michelle
you're
Obama
done.
of the United States of
Alright,
America
so
on the occasion
good afternoon and good
of
evening,
the
brothers and
episodes.
sisters. You are all welcome. My name is Mark Teta. I'm the tour guide. We are doing a walking tour. It's taking us for roughly 45 minutes. So, because you are all marks, let me take off my mask so that you can hear me properly. So, after an introduction, the tour will take us to the dungeons to see where British kept about 1,000 slaves. We come out to the yard and talk about these graves, move to the female dungeons, then to the door of no return. However, I promise you today, we are all going to return peacefully. From there, we will have ourselves condemned in a cell. And if God willing, we survive the condemnation. We still have some strength and time. I'll take you up briefly to see the residents of British. Basically, we are walking. And on a tour, photos are allowed. You can ask questions, comment, and follow. And this is historic Cape Coast Castle. And the word Cape Coast itself, it is a corrupted Portuguese word. The word Abicos, which means short cape. And that was corrupted into Cape Coast by British people. And this structure we see here today is the youngest and the last castle in Ghana. In Ghana, there are 3 houses and several of the forts along the coast, which were built by Europeans. And almost all of them were used for transatlantic slave trade. But the first one is the one at Lima. That was built around 1482 by Portuguese under the leadership of one Don Diego G. Pessanilla. Thank you. There's one in Accra that was built around 1661 by this from Denmark. This one was built by the British in 1665. So basically, this is the youngest. And this one was built at the time slave trade that we're coming to talk about today. Started in Africa for close to 200 years already. The way British designed this particular castle, the dungeons we are going to walk through today alone have the capacity to hold about 1,300 enslaved Africans at one particular time. This place was designed for men. 1,000 were here. Women were 500 here, 300. He kept the minimum 2 weeks to 3 months. All depends on their ships. But 1860, slave trade stopped. So this structure was used by British again as a colonial administrative center. The English were here up to the time Ghana regained our independence, and we moved the British out of the castle. So the castle, 1665, that British started building using free and cheap African labor till now. It is 356 years old. That is the age of this building you see today. Elmina, the oldest and the biggest, is about 539 years old. It will interest you to know that before the British built the castle in 1665, this land changed hands among several Europeans. And the Swedish were the first to occupy this land. They came somewhere in 1654. They were trading ivory and gold. They stayed for some time and abandoned the land. Later Danes took over the land because of gold. While the Danes were Dutch, attacked the Danes. When the Danes were defeated, they went to build the castle. So while Dutch thought they conquered everybody, 1664, British attacked the Dutch. When the British defeated the Dutch, they built the castle. They knew other Europeans would come to attack them. So they brought these cannons for the French. That was why British stayed here for about 200 years. And nobody could attack the castle. If you look at the capital, it's in bricks. If you look at this place, it's in bricks. If we enter, inside like this is original. We have not added anything. That's the way they left it. They brought all the bricks from England. They brought them to balance their ships to Africa. These African people has balanced away. There wasn't cement those days. They used grounded sea shells and lime powder and palm oil as the binding material. They built a structure also on the rock. When they were taking the pictures, they must have seen some rocks. That is the foundation of the building. We're sitting on a huge rock. That's why for years the building is strong. So this is the way, a small introduction before we begin the tour itself. If you have a question, what I said you can ask before we start. Alright, if there's none, then we are moving to the benches. So after those steps again, try to be in the middle.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to catch again.
Yes.
The name kept you said it was
Cabo
Corso,
which means short Cape in Portuguese.
Okay.
That was corrupted into Cape Coast.
Right.
On the tour, we'll talk about so many things that the British corrupted. So here's some words and some of our names. Let's go.
This is it, fam. It's going in. This is it, fam. Give me it.
Very dark. This house was no light at this time. And there were 1,000 people from where we are, all the way to the last end. 1,000 in total. But they divided the dungeons into 5. So this is 1. So 200 people here. Where there wasn't light, these 3 holes were the windows. For those that you can see. So some of them became blind. You can see the bricks on the floor. That's what I was talking about. There was nothing like toilet facility then. There was no urinal. So Africans were forced to go to toilet. They urinate in addition. They were here for about 3 months. You can see these trenches. They constructed them as their urinal. That when you urinate, to run through into the sea. But it got to a time that some Africans could not withstand the suffering here. So they started fighting the British people. They wanted to free themselves. Those were then identified and brought from the other side to this place. So then they created a door at the entrance. There was a door here before. They called this place a strong room. So British were not coming to clean the solid waste. So the waste started piling. It started from one level to the other to the other. It reached a point that the bricks we are seeing now was completely buried deep down in the waste. The waste reached some heights like this. So let me show you the level at which the waste came out. So come this way, please. Now I turn on the wall, look on the wall, and I see some white lines. Use the light one. And the white has fallen down. I see some lines in the white lines. bricks then tied to the bottom of this, to the height, to this height. From the ground, they reach this height. And you reach the height like this, you can see the markings. The bricks was not showing again. But 1974, University of Ghana Archaeological Department came to do excavation here before they found these bricks. That was when they made one like that. 74. So many died. Those who died were not buried. They just threw them into the sea. They were not buried. But they left a portion of the waste. We still have it. So that one is the sea. So this one here, you see, it's different from the bricks. It's the one that they left behind. So that generations yet come around to come and see. This one was tested and it proved that it has toilet, urine, blood, and other things. So this is human waste. But because it's been a long time, it has changed like an ordinary soil. So when you move to the other side, then you wouldn't see the bricks. You see something like this. And that is all waste because that place hasn't been excavated yet. The other side. So let's go. There is always shape there, you can see there are bricks buried down. And this is the third one, which also had about 200 people. This ones were windows, just like the other one. The one here served as a spiral. And on top of this dungeon, British went to build a church. They said they were Christians and go to church. They call the church Society for the Propagation of the Gospel. That one changed into Anglican Church in Ghana. So they were out preaching Bible, and blacks were in the darkness suffering from hands. Let's go. What is the United States? Let's go.
There's a nice store. I'm in a dungeon. It's live now. Keep this castle.
So this is the last one, which also had about 200 people. So out of the 1,000 slaves, by the time we were ready to go, most of them died. The survivor ones, that was not the end of the journey. They would take the dungeons, chained together. When it got here, that time was a hole at the back of this white cloth. They call it a tunnel. So they forced them through the tunnel to take them to the door of no return. But the tunnel was blocked in the year 1833 when the trade stopped. That was done to signify the end of the trade. And when we go outside, that hole is there, we'll see. But here you can't see that. When they bring them from the darkness to this point, where they were here for a month, some of them were sick and weak. So when they got to the sick one, they'll look at them, they'll select them. They'll send them to that small room to wait temporarily to allow the stronger ones to go. That was why they created this window. So that because there wasn't light at that time, this will help them to say who's sick and who's not sick. So they call where we are today selection room or sorting room. Whenever the stronger ones leave, those who were sick were brought from there and kept back here, but they died because they were not given any medical attention. This is a shrine which wasn't here. We have to understand clearly that before Europeans came to Africa with Christianity and Islam, that was brought by the Arabs, Africans. Our ancestors knew God. They prayed to God through smaller gods like this. So before British built the castle in 1665, the locals who were in this community had a shrine like this around this part of the land. When the British built the castle, anytime the local people wanted to come and pour their libation, English would say no. The locals came for their shrine to their community. So when the British left, they brought the shrine back. So this was brought here when the English left around 1974. They call it Nana Tabe. And in Cape Coast, there are 77 deities of gods. And that is one. 77. I don't know if I believe in that. 77 gods in Cape Coast. This things you see were laid by the descendants in Africa. The last thing that we, the actual people did not get the chance to come back alive. But today their descendants are coming from the US, Jamaica, Brazil, globally. It's like you are here today, including my sister. Whenever they come here, We go on a tour like we are doing. In fact, many of them share things with us. So that some of them pray, they pour libation, they do other rituals, they lay business and they go back. That's why the place like this. We've taken many away because they bring it almost on daily basis. So today, we will not be going to the sick chamber. We are going through the tunnel as it happened in the olden days. We are free. So after our photos, we are free back. Remember, we are on top of waste.
Can I take a picture of the shrine?
Yeah, your camera will break. Okay, let's go. Sorry, what can you do? Make sure you get pictures right.
Okay.
Inside.
No, your board and number.
Patrice, are you joining?
Yes.
So, we will touch on it, right?